All right, good. Tuesday, September 23rd, 2025. How are you guys doing? Week 3 of the 2025 NFL season is in the books. Finally, we can close the chapter on the first sixth of the season. Some teams are proving to be what they thought they were. Some teams are proving to be something entirely different. And last night in the finale of the sixth away mark of the season, week 3, the Detroit Lions and Baltimore Ravens squared off in a highly anticipated game, and boy, did it deliver. A lot of things on the line here. One of those two teams was going to walk away 1-2. Not necessarily the greatest start to the season. Detroit had something to prove. 20 years. Been 20 years since we beat the Baltimore Ravens. It's 2005, and we've never beat Baltimore in Baltimore. Jared Goff has never beaten Baltimore. And most notably, 2 years ago when we played them in the 2023 season, we traveled to Baltimore very similarly to how we did today, though the faces were different. Derrick Henry was not on the Baltimore Ravens. We were still rocking those incredibly ugly gray face masks, and a lot of the personnel packages, some of them are still in college. Some of them are on other teams for the Detroit Lions. The coaching staff was entirely different. The schemes were different, shall we say. But the first verse is not the same as it was the first go-around there. And how the Detroit Lions came out. Now, to you and me, and those of us that know the reality of what goes on at the Motor City, we had no fear. We put money down on it. We cashed a couple $1 dues yesterday. Didn't hit on the super big parlays, guys. We were a couple of JMO touchdowns away from hitting a couple $1,000s yesterday. But we walked out of it with plus $200. So, you know what? Not bad. That's what we call bankroll management. We'll stress that more every Sunday and Monday for Lions pregame shows if there is a Monday night game. But the Lions rolled in and had to make a statement with Green Bay getting out to an early lead in the NFC, looking to be the cream of the crop until they stumbled against the Cleveland Brown Eyes, which is on the docket next for the Detroit Lions. We had to go out and make a statement against one of the top teams in the NFL, let alone the AFC. Lamar Jackson, John Harbaugh, historically good franchise, right? John Harbaugh, 18 years. Lamar Jackson, the most efficient passer in the history of the NFL. Historic numbers. Still has yet to throw an interception on Monday Night Football in his career. That's insane. But you pair that up with the new kid on the block. You know, we had a bunch of hits, and I'm willing to bet the Chinese food makes them sick. But as the Detroit Lions would say, we think it's fly when girls stop by for the summer. They do like girls that wear Abercrombie and Fitch, and we'd take her if we had one wish. But, the Lions also equally as good in prime time, though the sample size is incredibly a lot smaller than John Harbaugh and the Baltimore Ravens. Dan Campbell's something like 11-2 or something like that in primetime games. Some insane number, considering 6 years ago, the Lions were the farthest team removed from getting primetime games. We were contractually obligated to have them, and they would never go our way. And it was embarrassing. It sucked. It was nice to see our team get a little hype on the national media circuit at nighttime, but it was never the results that we wanted. Fast forward to where we are now. We are loaded up on primetime games, getting the maximum amount. Teams tune in. Coaches are watching to see what we do. They're plucking our players and plucking our coaches away from us in hopes to poorly replicate what Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes have done over the past 5 years in the Motor City. Jared Goff, also a historically good quarterback on primetime games. So what you had here is a late-night bout between conference heavyweights, one representing the NFC, one representing the AFC, in what some could have said might be a Super Bowl preview. Okay, now I'm not saying that, but some people are saying that. I'm calling for the Bills to be the Super Bowl team from the AFC. And one of these teams was going to walk out with a 2-1 record. One of them is going to be looking up at the rest of the conference. And how the national pundits, every single swinging dick across this country, except for you and me here at the Hat and Beard Show, live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m., broadcasting to you from Grandma Studio 1. Well, we were willing to put our money on the Detroit Lions, and oh, how righteous it felt to cash, to win, and to do it in such a dramatic fashion. We laid out all of our ways to win. Yesterday, we thought, run game heavy, Jared Goff-eccentric game. What's going to happen? Do we go into boat race mode? It seemed to be a little bit of both. Detroit managing to grind out 295-plus yard touchdown drives, which I'm going to be honest with you guys. One of those drives in a game is going to completely deflate and demoralize the opposing defense. You pile on 2 drives like that. Now, let's be fair. David Montgomery ripping off 72 yards on one carry of those 90-yard drives is going to be a huge kick in the ass to the defense. But also a blessing in disguise as it gets their sad ass off the field a lot quicker. Had that drive been sustained, I think you would have seen Detroit break the backs and the morality and the will of the Baltimore Ravens. And I don't think you would have seen any late-game heroics out of Lamar Jackson, even close to what we've seen with the garbage time touchdown. I think that would have completely broken the will. And then on top of it, not only did Jack Fox go out and do Jack Fox things, pinning our defense back. Jake Bates, our special teams department was special. I know Jake Bates missed that 67-yard field goal attempt at the end of the half, and whatever. You got nothing to lose, But Jake Bates, who knew that kickers could lay a lick on a guy? Touchdown saving tackle in not a little bitch manner either. Normally kickers are kind of little bitch boys. Jake Bates, he's going on there and he's putting a hat on a man. Yeah, absolutely love to see it. Our running game was phenomenal. Our defense really stepped up. There were some questions. We had not only going into this game, but going all season long, off season, into training camp, and into the regular season. Who is going to be the running mate opposite Aidan, the Michigan Mayhem man Hutchinson? And where has Aidan Hutchinson be? Let us not forget there was a guy in the chat who doesn't seem to poke around too much anymore. Broski Bear. After week 1, where's Aidan Hutchinson? Where's the defensive MVP? Oh, he decided to make his presence more than known Monday night against the Baltimore Ravens, compiling at least 1 sack. I think he got a sack and a half, and just poking that ball out of Derrick Henry for a momentum-crippling forced fumble. Derrick Henry now fumbled 3 straight consecutive games. First time in his career these things happen. I'm not going to pile on the guy too much. Personally, I am a bit of a Derrick Henry fan. I like his running style. But when you are the foe of the night, it is good to see. I think we had some questions answered. What was going to happen? Who is going to be the running mate? And what are we going to do now that Marcus Davenport is on the short-term IR? Who's going to be that other defensive end? Well, guys, if you'd been paying attention to what I have been saying for the entire offseason, people said, we got to bring back Zadarius Smith. And I continuously said, if you look at the numbers, if you look at the production, Al-Quadin Muhammad is equally, if not more productive than Zadarius Smith, or equally as productive as Josh Paschal. Al-Quadin Muhammad not only got a game ball, but probably had, and let's be honest, he is a 7-year veteran on his 5th team, and he's on 30 years old. Playing like a younger man, I'm going to be honest, he doesn't play like a traditional 30-year-old defensive end, doesn't move like Zadarius Smith did, right? This is probably going to be about it for you, bud, but probably the best game he's ever had. The lights were the brightest. Al-Quadin Muhammad really stepped up. Now, one other player, though he doesn't pop off the stat sheet like Muhammad did. Guys, if you paid attention, I think we might have found our long-term solution to the defensive end room. Not only does the body size and build fit what we like to have, what I call the heavy end, see Josh Paschal, see Levi Onwuzurike, see Marcus Davenport. Not only was he a strong, heavy, big-bodied, wide-side, fat-ass, tweener-size defensive end, defensive tackle, but that bookend that we like to have Aidan Hutchinson collapse the pocket into. But the guy had a lot of push as well. And again, Brad Holmes, at a certain point, Brad Holmes, you're going to get tired of putting on your boots and your hat with your little headlamp and your pickaxe and going mining for players, but by golly, he struck again. Guys, I think Tyler Lacey might be a solution to the other bookend for Aidan Hutchinson. I really liked what I seen out of Tyler Lacey yesterday against the Baltimore Ravens. Didn't really pop on the stat sheet, but if you watch the guy play, a lot of push, a lot of pop, a lot of physicality. Any quarterback other than Lamar Jackson probably would have been sacked 10 times in that game. So go ahead and give yourselves a big Detroit Lions fans, One Pride Worldwide round of applause. Not only were we able to sack the ever-elusive Lamar Jackson once, we went and did it 7 frickin' times. Probably would have had more. But I'm not going to sour the mood too much here, guys, but let's be honest. Not only was it Detroit versus the Ravens, but it was Detroit versus the refs. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Bill Vinovich has changed his last name to Bill Vinovich-Jackson because I have never seen a grown man. Ladies, ladies in the chat, ladies watching, if you're ever looking for a man to find a man that looks at you the way that Bill Vinovich looks at Lamar Jackson, because holy hog shit, heaven and hell, they were going out of their way. At some point, Sheila must have made a phone call and written a check to Roger Goodell, who then placed a phone call to Bill Vinovich and said, take Lamar's dick out of your throat and start making actual calls. There were egregious holding calls. Now, what really drove me nuts is not only did twice the commentators say that they questioned the call, but once the officiating representative or the head of officiating or whatever, the rules analyst for ESPN, straight up said, I don't like that call. It's a terrible call. On top of that, the commentating team early on in the game spoke about how the league has been notified by the Detroit Lions that players are attacking Aidan Hutchinson's legs, trying to hit him low. And not only did we see it multiple times, but we've seen Derrick Henry deliberately try and put his helmet into the knee of Aidan Hutchinson. And Joe Buck, as much as I like Joe Buck, I don't give a fuck, Joe Buck. You said that was a great job. That's dirty. It's dirty, 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 dirty. And it is clearly evident that not only does the league have a microscope on Brian Branch, not going to let him get away with farting in the wrong direction, but Aidan Hutchinson, you better double up knee pads, dude, because the league is clearly letting players have at your broken leg, and they don't give a flying fuck. So again, we reiterate the statement and beat the war drum. Guys, in 2025, to get us a Super Bowl, it's going to be Detroit. Say it with me now. Detroit versus everybody. And nothing ever changes. Some things always stay the same. You just got to grin and bear it, turn around and punch the opponent right in the mouth, just like we did Monday night. Guys, we got some stories lined up for you here today. As you can see, I was getting hyped to a little Ozzy Osbourne. Lions Ravens on Monday Night Football. What we learned from Detroit's 38-30 win over Baltimore. That coming to us from NFL.com. We're then going to walk over to CBS Sports. Overreactions from Lions win over Ravens. Detroit doesn't need Ben Johnson? ? Baltimore not a Super Bowl contender. Which overreactions from the Lions win over the Ravens have merit, and which do not? We will go painstakingly through each and every one of them. We're going to be turning the page at CBS.com. I'm going to stay right nearby. NFL Week 4 Power Rankings. We will quickly speed through the top 10. You know, when you come out with your big dick swinging and you just go ahead and you punch Lamar Jackson. Now, I'm going to be honest. I do like Lamar Jackson as a player. He's very entertaining to watch. Similar to Michael Vick. Hopefully, Lamar Jackson cannot get caught doing some fucked up shit like Michael Vick did. He can continue on his career unabated by legal infringement. But I have to say that is Lamar Jackson. He is unfortunately ugly. He has got to be one of the ugliest motherfuckers in the NFL. That goddamn dude is so butt-ass ugly. I don't like looking at him. I just don't like looking at him. And what's even more unfortunate is he looks just like the former CEO of my company, who's a woman. So I don't know if that's saying that Lamar Jackson looks like a woman or that my old CEO is just a butt-ugly-ass bitch. But they both look the damn same, so that's just my takeaway. I got tired of looking at Lamar Jackson. And oh, boy, golly, wasn't it interesting to see him pouting on the sidelines and Derrick Henry throwing a literal temper tantrum and damn near injuring himself after that third consecutive game of the fumble where Aidan Hutchinson popped it out in their own side of the field in their own red zone and just broke the back of the Baltimore Ravens. That type of behavior would never be acceptable in the Motor City. And it's one thing that I do pride ourselves on is the professionalism and the way that our team conducts themselves. You know, Terry Arnold could collapse at any moment if he was any less psychologically strong. But Terrion Arnold, we'll talk about him later. I'm not too wild about Terrion Arnold. We are then going to stop by NFL.com. Lions running backs David Montgomery Jahmyr Gibbs put on a historic rushing performance and win over the Ravens. I'm going to be honest, guys, I'm enjoying the glazing, and we're going to be taking our time. I don't have to work today, so we're going to be taking our time and just basking in the glory of a triumphant win over the Baltimore Ravens when everybody said that we weren't going to. Then finally, we're going to be doing a little hometown cooking. 5 winners and 2 losers from the Lions win over the Ravens. The Detroit Lions went toe-to-toe with one of the NFL's best and walked away with an impressive win. Who else emerged as winners? At one point, are we going to flip the narrative and say that the Baltimore Ravens went toe-to-toe with one of the NFL's best and came up short? Why are we always David punching up at Goliath? Now, I don't mind being the hero time and time again. It is generally socially better to be the underdog in the eyes of everyone else. You don't want to be the evil empire. But at a certain point, a little bit of respect here in the Motor City and what we're able to do. John Morton, again, silencing all of the haters. And, boy, do we come up with some interesting trick plays. Again, proving the narrative that I had said early on. Ben Johnson, not the mastermind that everybody thinks he is. And the evil genius that is Dan Campbell strikes yet again. Dan Campbell. Gamble. Finally, don't focus on what the 2025 Detroit Lions lost. Remember what they've covered. Little national news coverage from USA Today talking about our Detroit Lions. And we will be running late because we're going to double dip on Tom Grassi today. We're going to go Tom Gross as if the NFL was scripted week 3, as well as a Lions-Ravens fan. Actually, we're going to go Lions fans' reaction to NFL week 3, and then NFL week 3 was scripted. So buckle in, guys. Get yourself a beverage. Go ahead and hit the oil can. Go ahead and drain the brain out the pickle. Shake the dew off a lily, whatever it is you got to do, because we're going to be locked and loaded for a little bit longer of a show today, more or likely, because we are 20 minutes into it. I had myself a hell of an opening monologue there. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We do have a poll up in the chat. It says 1 like equals Lions are contenders. 9 votes so far. So far, we've got 9 votes. 9 votes so far. Super Bowl bound, baby. 100%. And the other option, of course, and I don't expect anyone to pick it, but saying I'm nuts. So I want to say shout out to all of the Mad Hatter Nation hanging out in the chat on this glorious Victory Tuesday. Brent DeWitt, how you doing, brother? My mom's here. Such a great game. Mr. Detroit City hit 2 plus 5,000 bets, a 10-leg and a 9-leg. Mr. Detroit City, son of a bitch. That is absolutely epic for you, my friend. Congratulations and cheers to you, bro. That's fucking awesome. Jeff Ginnard, work is slow as hell, but I'm smiling all day, and it's easy to smile on this glorious Victory Tuesday with a statement win in prime time. Clarice Jackson, how you doing, sister? Good to see you. Good morning. What a great game. 4th down, and fuck it. Let's go. I absolutely love that line. 4th down, 4th and fuck it. I'm going to use that from now on. I absolutely love it. 4th and fuck it. Morning, Derek Harp. How you doing, brother? Sam Armstrong. Got that win. Let's go. Did you win in fantasy? Did you win in fantasy? We tried to build you some parlays to win you in fantasy. Lots of BS calls. Clarice, I completely agree with you there. It was getting a little aggressive and a little ridiculous. Holding, our guys were getting tackled. Bro! Ha ha! Ha ha ha! There was a play, Brent DeWitt, where Alex Anelzone was coming in hot and heavy for a sack, and the running back grabbed a whole handful of his jersey and changed the trajectory by grabbing and pressing the shoulder of Lamar Jackson. What drove me absolutely nuts is in that situation, Bill Vinovich has 3 guys that he is watching. 3 guys in that entire play that he is standing back there watching. He's watching Alex Anzalone getting absolutely held like a big cock of pepperoni. The guy blocking him, holding on to him with his dirty little dick beaters, just all. I mean, he might as well have been giving Alex Anzalone a Dutch rudder at that point. And Lamar Jackson. There are 3 people you need to watch on the whole play. And it's really unfortunate that Bill Vinovich couldn't take his eyes off of Lamar Jackson's ass because he was sitting there just licking his chops, absolutely salivating over eating Lamar Jackson's ass. And it was completely uncalled for and absolutely ridiculous. I'm glad that I'm not the only one that sees it. Time after time after time, certain refs just have a thing for certain quarterbacks. And it will be nice to maybe one day have a ref that's like, I like Jared Goff. I'm going to give him the calls because it was getting a little egregious. You know what I mean? My mom says, and I agree, Jackson didn't handle stress very well. Brandy Coffee says, she says the same thing. Isn't that true? We absolutely got pummeled yesterday, you guys, with the flags. Did YouTube flag your comment? I have no idea, Brandy. Did you comment on a video or comment in the chat because I don't know. I'm having a hard time watching. Francis Muldoon, how you doing, Dad? Hey, awesome game. Good hanging out with both my mom and my dad are here. Feels good to get a winning at Baltimore, isn't it, though? It's awesome to get that monkey off our back. Gibbs came through. Damn, brother, that's what's up, Sam. You came through. Just inching it out. That's what we like to see. You were laughing when we rolled out 3 running backs. The Ravens defenders were yelling at their coaches because they didn't know what to do. Bro, Brent, when we rolled out that triple I formation, I was like, what kind of tomfoolery, Johnny Morton, fucking mad scientist? The way Johnny Morton and Dan Campbell are conducting our offensive scheme, we might be getting the label the greatest show on turf, and it's giving Mike Martz, Mike Leach, mad scientist vibes, isn't it? That triple power I, and then that touchdown to Gibbs, that Amon-Ra sweep option. Guys, I'm telling you, there are certain plays, and I understand why we consistently try to get the corner with Jahmyr Gibbs. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but when Jahmyr Gibbs hits the corner, I swear to God, guys, he is parallel with the ground when he hits the corner. That dude gets so low, and it's awesome. He's so fast. Went to the Holt homecoming game Friday week and cheered with the other alumni and threw up stunts almost 20 years later, and we still got it. Hell yeah, Clarice, that's what's up. You called Jackson a scary-ass mofo. Well, you know, he was a scary, but I'm not too worried about him now. In fact, he's a butt-ugly motherfucker right now. Jam had 2 catches, then he went missing. I know, Sam, and that's the thing. Guys, I'm glad Mr. Detroit City was able to get lucky and hit on those parlays. Guys, I was like 7 yards and a JMO touchdown away from like $9,000 yesterday across a bunch of parlays. Now, let us reiterate something we say all the time about Jameson Williams, and he did appear later on in the game. This time, the cast was a little different. Instead of a Jahmyr Gibbs big electrifying run for a big gain, it was David Montgomery shouldering the load as the big explosive play running back. And not only did Penei Sewell clear the way along the right side, not only did Tater Ratledge secure his man and get his big ass around to make a nice wall for Montgomery to hop through, but who, again, do we see downfield all over his man, freeing up the third level for our running backs to exploit? Yet again, the unsung hero of downfield blocking, highly underrated, and I will continue to beat this drum until he's acknowledged. So Jameson Williams unlocking the third level so our running backs can just get in there and slash and dash. Those sparkly teeth don't help. That's true. Those Brandy, you sound like Hatton boobs. Every time they show guys with grills, she's just like, I don't get it. That cannot be comfortable. And I'm like, I agree with you. I don't get it either. I don't. It looks ridiculous. It looks absolutely ridiculous. We are the best trick play team in the league. We are so focused together on offense. I agree with you on that, Sam. That's what I say. Everybody, now when everybody goes forward on 4th down, 4th and fuck it, when everybody goes for a trick play, it's just a poor imitation of what the Lions do. The league is a imitation league, and until teams can replicate, think of the tush push. Who is the only team that can execute the tush push in the way that they execute the tush push? The Philadelphia Eagles. That's their thing, man. For a while, who was it? Miami was the only team that could execute the Wildcat offense, right? And until other teams can either stop us, it doesn't work, or other teams can execute at a higher level. Dan Campbell's the only coach who can play Dan Campbell ball. Detroit Lions are the only team that can play Detroit Lions ball. Trick plays, 4th down, aggressiveness. We're the only ones that can do it, and everybody else is just a poor imitation of what the Lions are doing. You're hoping for more from JMO for your fantasy team. Well, you know, Mom, he still came through. That's just how JMO's going to be. JMO's going to be 2 catches for 40 yards, 2 catches for 108 yards. It's the explosiveness, the threat that Jameson Williams brings, and the downfield blocking that consistently has been proven to open up big runs time after time after time that is Jameson Williams' true value to the team. He was doing well blocking. Yes, he was. Art Vanderlei, how you doing, Art? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Happy Tuesday. Happy Victory Tuesday. Fresh out of early AM colonoscopy. I asked the doctor if they found the L for the Ravens in there. Nice, dude. Nice. I'm going to send some emojis in that. That was funny. What's up, Motown? How you doing, brother? Sam Armstrong says, I love the Lions voted to keep the tush push. You have to stop it. Exactly. Get good. No Johns, bro. What do my guys, anyone else? What up, though? My guys feel else feel like they are floating on cloud 9 this morning. Can't wait to talk shit to the Pecker fans, bro. Motown, doesn't it feel good to just go and do what everybody said we couldn't do? Time after time after time, we are consistently just proving all of the haters wrong. We know what the reality is. But until the national media and everybody else takes their dirty little dick beaters and puts a finger on the pulse of what's going on over here at the Motor City, we're continuing to be the underdogs. And as far as my bankroll is concerned in gambling, I'm going to continue to exploit that. If they want to give me better odds and Vegas wants to give me money for not acknowledging what the Detroit Lions are capable of doing, I am going to go ahead and consistently exploit that. Well, Sam, that's the other thing. We'll talk about that later in the week about Cleveland. Cleveland had a big comeback last week against the Green Bay Packers. It's not a team that we need to necessarily be overlooking, especially these next 2 weeks. They could be trap games for the Detroit Lions, maybe riding a little too high after our big win over Baltimore. Cleveland and Cincinnati could potentially be trap games, so we're not going to go ahead and overlook those guys. So now that we're 26 minutes into the episode and I have yet to do anything, let's go ahead and do the call to action. If you haven't already, like the video, subscribe to the channel. If you're new here, ring that notification bell so you can be notified every time we go live Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. here at youtube.com, coming to you live from Grandma's Studio 1. Go ahead and head on over to that share button. Share this video around with all your friends. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. That's what we love about you. Let's get into the show.
If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well, then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
All right, guys, coming to us from NFL.com. We are going to try and motor through, so if I don't read all of your chats right now, forgive me. I am way behind schedule. We took a half hour giving my thoughts on opening monologue about the Detroit Lions. Sweet, sweet victory. This coming to us from NFL.com. Lions-Ravens Monday Night Football. What we learned from Detroit's 38-30 win over the Baltimore Ravens. Number one, Kyle. Sorry about that, fellas. That kind of came out of nowhere. Number one, title contenders trade haymakers. We've seen some truly excellent football in primetime windows in the first month of this season, but this felt like one of the true 12-round title fights between heavyweights. Detroit compiled an impressive opening drive. Baltimore answered with a quicker scoring march, and then the Lions responded with an incredible statement of a drive that covered 98 yards over 18 plays and announced they would not be intimidated by the aura of M&T Bank Stadium at night. These teams battled back and forth throughout much of the night, delivering a thrilling viewing experience before the Lions committed to their identity and their refusal to back down, converting a courageous 4th and fuck it and capping it with a touchdown run. One out, producing a momentous victory. If every game in the NFL was like this one, we'd never leave our homes. And we just might have seen a Super Bowl preview on Monday night. I have not pre-read this, but I do believe I said that earlier. Number two, Baltimore needs to get healthy up front. It's not often a game between two elite clubs includes a couple of 95-plus yard touchdown drives completed by one team, but that is what the Lions did Monday night, imposing their will on the Ravens with a blend of sharp third-down conversions and an insistence on running the ball down Baltimore's throat. Frustrated Ravens fans can't run from this fact, but they can and will point to the absence of Nnamdi Madubuike and Kyle Van Noy, two players who occupy different roles along the defensive front, but are each essential to maintaining their run-stopping integrity. With both sidelined Monday night, the Lions capitalized, balancing an offense that is already predicted on play-action passing with an aggressive ground game that's produced multiple highlight runs by David Montgomery and stole the soul of Baltimore's defense. This is not Ravens football, and the Ravens will be plenty hard on themselves after getting bullied up front. Hopefully that criticism and some time to heal corrects the matter. I do want to say that it was right as we were wrapping up that very first 98-yard play drive. That is a very long drive for either program, right? Either ball club. It's going to be a very exhausting experience. we were getting down around the goal line, and you could already see the exhaustion setting in on the defensive players of the Baltimore Ravens. And I knew that we had already set ourselves up for success and were starting to gain the upper hand simply based on our program's physicality. We were manhandling them. We did exactly what we wanted to do, go out and play bully ball. That's exactly what we did. Number 3, Detroit swarms Lamar Jackson. It's not often the defense bottles up Lamar Jackson to the point he's visibly frustrated on the sidelines in crucial moments of the game, but it certainly happened Monday night. The Lions' defensive front, a unit many saw as a concerning weakness entering 2025, harassed Jackson all night long, sacking him 7 times and doing so with multiple shoestring tackles. More importantly, Detroit played physical, tough, and fundamentally sound defense, limiting Baltimore's explosive offense in the most important moments. Perhaps it will be a wake-up call for Jackson and how he approaches his improvised brand of football. For the Lions, it was a huge feather in their cap. Number 4, we got a couple more, 4 than 5. Number 4, Henry has a fumbling problem on 683 touches from Week 18 from 2022 season through the end of the 2024 season. Derrick Henry fumbled just 3 times. He's fumbled 3 times on just 43 touches this season. Henry's fourth quarter fumble Monday came after he mysteriously faded from Baltimore's offensive game plan in a second-half stretch in which a threatening running game would have been useful in order to sustain drives in a tight contest. And as soon as he returned, he committed the worst mistake, giving possession right back to the Lions right after they were forced to settle for a field goal in a 1-score game. No football player is infallible. Plenty of excellent defensive players knock the ball loose every week in the NFL. But Henry's sudden fumbling tendency is alarming because of the role he plays in Baltimore's offense. He's a home run threat, a bulldozing back, a reliable workhorse, and a proven closer who has suddenly lost the ability to accomplish the latter, which reduced his role on Monday night and directly affected the outcome of the game. Henry served as one-third of an incredibly dynamic, explosive offense in Baltimore last season. Yet his value in its attack is uncertain, at least for now. His emotional sideline display said it all. We can't explain why Henry is suddenly giving away possessions, but if he and the Ravens are going to reach their potential, he better solve it fairly soon. And finally, number 5 takeaway, the Lions remind the NFL they're still the same machine. You might change out the parts, but that machine, we're in the empire business. Detroit entered 2025 with plenty of question marks. Would its defense, a unit lacking proven talent up front outside of Aidan Hutchinson and veteran DJ Reader, be able to stop explosive opponents in a high-leverage moment? Would the Lions recover from losing defensive coordinator Aaron Glenn and offensive coordinator Ben Johnson, Osama Ben Johnson, bend over Ben Johnson, the traitor in the Windy City, Benedict Arnold Ben Johnson, the small pee-pee having son of a bitch, Ben Johnson head coaching job elsewhere? They answered both questions emphatically Monday night, playing excellent defensively, piecing together outrageously impressive offensive possessions built on a rugged running game and excellent quarterback play from Jared Goff, winning the physicality battle in the trenches and sprinkling in some trickery, which that was a staple under Johnson. In one night, the Lions returned to the form that made them Super Bowl favorites a year ago. Their struggle-filled Week 1 display feels like a distant memory after this prime-time performance. And just a quick look at some next-gen insight for the Lions-Ravens. David Montgomery rushed for a career-high 151 yards on only 12 carries, gaining a plus 108 rushing yard over expected, which is a plus 39 more than any other player this season. Montgomery recorded 4 explosive runs of 10-plus yards for only the 4th time in his career and gained a career-high 87 yards after 6 missed tackles. The Ravens allowed a touchdown drive on 96 and 98 yards on Monday night, becoming the first team to allow multiple 95-yard touchdown drives on MNF since the 2010 Ravens, who did so in a 34-28 win over the Houston Texans. Interesting. History doesn't repeat, but it sure does rhyme. Should we take some overreactions, guys? Let's see what CBS has to say about overreactions. Overreactions. Dan Campbell's 4th down decisions will win the Lions a title. Overreaction or reality. This, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, is a parody league, and everybody is just a poor knockoff of the Detroit Lions. Overreaction or reality. This is, in fact, a reality. The Stones, or as Troy Aikman said, the Onions, on Dan Campbell, has to go for it on fourth down, knows no bounds. Doesn't matter the situation nor the score. Campbell is going to go for it and live with his decision. That's why we call it, what do we say? Clarice coined it. Fourth and fuck it. Let's go. The fourth down decision arguably cost Campbell and the Lions a conference title 2 years ago, but has won his team games more often than not. The Lions were 3 for 3 on fourth down in Monday's win over the Ravens. None bigger than the decision to go for it on 4th and 2 with a minute 56 left in a 31-24 game. Jared Goff threw a 20-yard pass into the bucket for Amon-Ra St. Brown in the first down and essentially the win. And I'm going to go a step farther and say, had Amon-Ra not been held by Marlon Humphreys, Amon-Ra's probably going to score. That catch was all Amon-Ra making up on the back end just a little bit for the slow. Again, it was a timing-based play, right? You see flashes of the Ben Johnson offense. Ooh, the Ben Johnson offense. Oh, Ben Johnson. But that was a timing-based play. Had Amon-Ra been on time and not held at the line, I'm pretty sure he's goosing Marlon Humphrey. And then it's a 2-on-2. Amon-Ra and Jameson Williams downfield against 2 defenders. I like our odds of Amon-Ra being physical, being shifty, and then the odds are forever in our favor when Jameson Williams is your downfield lead blocker. Holy shit! It's like having an offensive line. Is he doing offensive lineman drills? Is he hanging out with Hank Fraley in the offseason or something? Because, my God, he's better blocking than some fucking tight ends at this point. Jesus Christ. The decision was brilliant, and the execution was excellent to beat good teams like the Ravens. Coaches have to take risk. Campbell did, and his team is 2-1 because of it. Don't be surprised if the Lions get to a Super Bowl. A decision like this will come around again and lead the Lions to a win. The Lions still have a great offense without Ben Johnson. Overreaction or reality? This is far and away a reality. The first game was a mirage when it comes to the Lions offense. The communication issues seem all but settled in the Lions offense and has been rolling ever since. Detroit scored 90 points over its last 2 games, an average of 45 points per game, and 937 yards, an average of 468.5 yards per game. That is nuttier than a payday. The offensive line is still elite, and the playmakers are still there. Yes, the offense is even creative, evidenced by the Amon-Ra St. Brown handoff and a later pitch to Jahmyr Gibbs right here. Oh, there it was right there. It was actually right there. Timing is everything. To put Lions up 28-21 early in the fourth quarter. I don't feel like going over to X. Ravens are still Super Bowl contenders despite losses to the Lions and Bills. Overreaction or reality? This is an overreaction. The Ravens are still a good football team, but a fourth quarter collapse to the Bills and a defensive meltdown to the Lions isn't a good sign for a team with Super Bowl aspirations. This defense isn't Super Bowl caliber, allowing 41 points to the Bills and 38 points to the Lions, an average of almost 40 points per game allowed against 2 of the NFL's best teams. The crazy part about all the points the Ravens have allowed, the offense has 111 points through 3 games, an average of 37 points per game. This is an offensive line that is struggling to protect Lamar Jackson. They allowed 7 sacks against the Lions and get bullied on the line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively. This is unlike the Ravens teams we've seen in the past that appear to be all flash and little substance. Hard to call the Ravens a Super Bowl contender with how poor their defense is, especially at stopping the run and the inability to beat the elite teams through 3 games. Baltimore still has a chance to change this narrative in Kansas City next week. And how strange is it, 6 weeks ago, 5 weeks, 4 weeks ago, Ravens, Chiefs. Ooh, what a matchup we got there. We could be looking at 2 3-0 teams in a slugfest. And now we're looking at one of those 2 teams, one of the 2 elite ball clubs in the AFC. One of them will be 1-3, barring the insane. All this winning, culturally, and now in the NFL, it seems that the world is righting itself. The world is healing. The Lions are winning. The Ravens and Chiefs are one of them is going to be 1-3. The world is healing. Things are correcting themselves. Lamar Jackson will have to carry the Ravens to an AFC title. Overreaction or reality? This is in fact a reality. Stating the obvious here, Jackson is still an elite quarterback and still has little reason why the Ravens sit at 1-2 through 3 games. Jackson was 21 of 27 for almost 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and a 148.1 rating against the Lions, and lost. The Ravens have scored 30-plus points in all 3 games, and Jackson has a 141. Where'd you go? 141 passer rating to start the year. He has 9 touchdown passes to 0 interceptions while completing an astonishing 72% of his passes. This is with 118 rushing yards and a touchdown. The Ravens' offensive line has failed Jackson. Along with the defense that can't get off the field, Baltimore is fortunate Jackson is playing this well, or its season may be on the brink of disaster. The Ravens will always have a chance with Lamar Jackson playing this well, but he's going to have to carry the team to victories this year. Baltimore just doesn't have the elite defense as in past years, needing to outscore opponents to win. Jackson can do that if needed, but couldn't do it today. And then finally, we're going to wrap this up here with talk about Derrick Henry has finally passed his prime at 31. Overreaction or reaction? This is an overreaction. 2 fumbles lost in the first 3 games is uncharacteristic for Henry, and both have come at the most inopportune time. Monday's fumble helped propel the Ravens to a loss as Baltimore got the ball back trailing 28-24 with 8:21 left. On Henry's first carry of the possession, he fumbled, and the Lions got the ball back, leading to a field goal for a 31-24 lead. Henry has 3 fumbles through 2 games, uncharacteristic of him, and has 3 fumbles and only 1 fumble loss in the first 2 previous seasons combined. He has 2 fumbles lost on rushing plays in the fourth quarter of the season, which matches his total from the first 136 games combined. Is Henry done, or does he just have a case of fumbleitis? The latter is more likely, as Henry's just going through issues with ball security. Both fumbles have played crucial roles in the Ravens losing games. Henry still has 41 carries and 242 yards and 3 touchdowns through 3 games, averaging 5.9 yards per carry. He's still on pace for 1,300-yard rushing this season, so the ball isn't the issue. So running the ball isn't the issue. If Henry takes care of the football, he'll be fine. He's not past his prime, yet. I think those are fairly accurate depictions. I don't think the Ravens are a Super Bowl contender, though, and it's a big ask to put all of that pressure on Lamar Jackson and expect him to carry you to a Super Bowl. Speaking of Super Bowl, let's go ahead and take a look at CBS's power rankings. Those are the polls that we watch this year as CBS. And here we go. We're going to read us the top 10. Number 1, the Philadelphia Eagles. Number 2, the Bills. Number 3, the Bucks. Number 4, the Chargers. Number 5, the Packers. Number 6, your Detroit Lions. Ups from 12 to 6 plus 6 moves. They pushed the Ravens around Monday night to get back to their roots on offense of running the ball. The defense also came up big with 7 sacks. Following behind us, the Commies at 7, the Niners at 8, the Colts at 9, and the LA Rams round out your top 10. We almost flipped swap for swap with the Ravens. Now round out your top 10 all the way down to number 11. Good to see us back in the top 10 where we belong. Why don't you go ahead and move us back up into the top 5? And not going to be much movement after. If I could stop throwing my Zins on the floor, that'd be great. The problem is I like to fidget with stuff. I like to fidgetaroo. Over here at the chat, I just happened to see this one. Detroit Sports Talk says, what's your thoughts on Al Muhammad? Detroit Sports Talk, I have been a big Al-Qadim Muhammad fan since the regular season, or since the offseason. I have been one of the few, if not the only guy, who has openly expressed that we never needed Zadarius Smith. Josh Paschal does not worry me about being injured because when you look at the metrics of what he was able to do last year, although he is older and a journeyman through the NFL, Al-Qadim Muhammad was statistically as good as Zadarius Smith and Josh Paschal last year. And then today, I can sit here and revel in the fact that when everyone was like, oh my God, we didn't sign Z, and now Marcus Davenport is hurt, not only did we see explosive and nice flashes from a veteran journeyman, a defensive end who is having himself a nice little couple of games here, right? 3 sacks yesterday. I think he had a sack last week. He's got 4 through 3 games. That's pretty dang good for a guy that everyone slept on. I liked what I seen out of Muhammad yesterday. Even more so, I really liked what I seen out of Tyler Lacey. And I think Tyler Lacey might be the solution for our long-term problem at the opposite defensive end of Aidan Hutchinson. Yeah, dude, and I agree with you, Mr. Detroit, or Detroit Sports Talk says it right there. I still believe in TA, but man, he's been struggling, and Terrion Arnold. What do I say about Terrion Arnold? I hyped him up. Is Terry Arnold a liability now? There you go. Brent DeWitt with the stats. Zadarius Smith, half a sack. Al-Qadim Muhammad, 3.5 sacks through 3 games. Exactly. Yeah, I see that, Mr. Detroit City. New believers think the rapture is happening today. In reality, the only thing rapture was Baltimore's Super Bowl aspirations and Derrick Henry's career. Ha ha! Nice, dude. But back to Terry Arnold. Yeah, dude, I'm not sold on Terry Arnold right now. I'm starting to get a little concerned with his lack of good play. He's a liability out there right now. I don't know if he's just confused or if he gets out in the game time and just I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Terry Arnold. I don't know, but I'm getting flashes of Jeff Okuda, if I'm being honest, guys. Motown Mitch TA is not doing terrible. Just uses a little. I got to read on the different screen. Just has not. Oh, okay. Just not use a little way to go. There's still some polish needs to put on him, but I need him to get back to the fundamentals, guys. I need TA to get back to the fundamentals and play good. All right, guys, let's go ahead and look at NFL.com. Lions running back David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs put on historic rushing performance and win over the Baltimore Fried Purple Birds. It was apparent from the outset Monday night that the Detroit Lions wanted to establish their running game with authority. What transpired thereafter was a historic performance as running backs David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs ran roughshod in Detroit's impressive 38-30 win over the Baltimore Ravens, combining for 218 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns. Quote, pick your poison, Jared Goff said, who threw the only non-rushing touchdown for the Lions to Amon-Ra St. Brown in the third quarter. It's hard, man. It really is. And I've said it before, them being able to be fresher than a back that's taking 25 to 30 carries is kind of a secret sauce. They're both incredible. They both do everything right. They both block well. They both can catch. They both can run. Obviously. The tandem known as Sonic and Knuckles, or the NFL's best backfield tandem, led a statistical and historical bonanza in which they each had rushing scores in the game for the league record 11th time. Montgomery was simply sensational, carrying just 12 times for a career-high 151 yards and 2 tuggaroos, including a 72-yard gain and 31-yard score in the fourth quarter that essentially sealed the win. Gibbs had 22 carries for 67 yards and 2 touchdowns, along with 5 catches for 32 yards, with roles switching a bit as Gibbs was the workhorse and Montgomery was the game-breaker. It added up to the Lions rushing for 224 yards for the team's 426 yards of offense. Lauded for their ground game with quarterback Lamar Jackson and running back Derrick Henry, the Ravens were held to 85 yards on the ground in comparison. That is nuts. There we go. That is absolutely nuts, guys. The world is healing. I want to give a big shout-out to all the guys over at the CERN Hadron Collider because they either turned it off or they turned it on. Either way, I feel like we're starting to come out of the inverse world and getting back to the righteous ways, the way the world should be. Culturally, we're winning. The Lions are winning. The Lions sacked Lamar Jackson. The Lions sacked Lamar Jackson 7 times in Baltimore on primetime. The Lions held the Derek Yeti and Lamar Jackson rushing attack of the Baltimore Ravens to 85 yards. And it wasn't because the Ravens were put in a pass or die situation. Our defense was just really locking it down. Jack Campbell was all over Derek Yeti like stink on shit. And it was awesome. Jack Campbell playing with a bloodied up nose, grinding it out, dude. It looked good. Dude. Just how emphatic was the Lions' running game proved to be was exemplified with Detroit's marching to 2 touchdowns on 98 and 96-yard scoring drives. The first culminating with a Montgomery 1-yard touchdown run, and the second finished off by a Gibbs 4-yard tally. That's Detroit Lions football, Montgomery told NFL Network's Steve Wyche after the game. That's what we do. We know when we're coming into this game, we had to hold the ball a little bit because they've got a couple of guys on that side of the ball that are dangerous. We just stuck to the game plan and ended up riding it out and getting a victory. Coaches put together a good plan, and you stuck to it. Montgomery didn't have a single opening drive carry, but it hardly foreshadowed his contributions to come. Tied at 7 with 1:43 to play in the first quarter, the Lions took over on their 2-yard line following a stellar 63-yard punt by Jordan Stout, coupled by a Detroit penalty. Led by Montgomery, the Lions embarked on an 18-play, 98-yard odyssey of a scoring drive that ate up 10 minutes and 48 seconds of the clock. Montgomery ran the ball 7 times for 31 yards, including a 1-yard touchdown to cap the march, one of which the Lions converted 4 third downs. Once again, tied at the tail end of the third quarter, Detroit vaulted back ahead on another lengthy drive, though this one was a sprint that encompassed 96 yards on 7 plays with 3:41 left to play. Montgomery busting loose for a 72-yard gain before he was dragged down from behind. 4 plays later, Gibbs scored from the 4-yard line on a bit of a razzle-dazzle as Goff pitched to Amon-Ra, who then optioned it to Gibbs for the touchdown. I didn't know what we were going to do. We had been practicing it for 3 years, Gibbs said of the play. We had it my rookie year. This was the first time we ran it. And I want to point out that I think it was Troy Aikman or Joe Buck, showed how Jared Goff, when handing the ball off to Amon-Ra, instead of handing it to him horizontally, flipped it vertically so that Amon-Ra could take the ball vertically and immediately be able to pitch it. That is the very small details. What did we say going into this game? I said there were 3 keys to victory. Communication, execution, and focus to the little details. And we did every single one of those, despite the refs throwing laundry all over the field at us, unnecessarily being dickheads because Bill Vinovich Jackson couldn't get his tongue out of Lamar Jackson's asshole. And we still emerged triumphant. The Lions on Monday night were equal parts might and creativity out of the backfield, exemplified by St. Brown's usage and the propensity for using a tight end as well. Plenty of times Detroit sported a Maryland I formation, look with 2 backs and a tight end lined up behind Goff. The production of Gibbs and Montgomery is unprecedented, as their aforementioned record 11 times rushing for scores in the same can attest. They took a step further on Monday night and rewound the clock by almost 100 years. Holy shit. In the autumn of 1936, Hall of Famer Dutch Clark had a pair of 1-yard touchdown runs along with a field goal and 3 extra points as the Lions lambasted the New York Giants 38-0. Clark was complimented by the play of Ernie Cottle, who had a 40-yard touchdown gallop. The 1-2 backfield punch for head Parker, Potsy Clark, was stellar that day, November 15th, 1936. Nearly a century later, Gibbs and Montgomery became the first Lions teammates with multiple rushing touchdowns in the game since Clark and Cattle. On Monday night, Sonic and Knuckles put up a rushing performance for the ages. Oh, yeah. Isn't that nice? Isn't that just smooth and buttery? I love the 2-headed attack. It's just impossible to stop. Chinhawk, 7 sacks, Daddy. How you doing, Chinhawk? Good to see you. Morning and welcome to the Hat and Beard Show. James says, I remember the time against Dallas when he called 3 straight 4th down tries. They did not make them, but it showed that I believe in this. Yeah, dude. James, you're absolutely right, dude. And what's nice about Dan Campbell is have you ever seen Dan Campbell make an excuse? He takes all of it right on his big old Dan Campbell chin. Gets up off the mat and comes out swinging. It's his style of ball. Yes, he's Dan Gamble. But you don't get anywhere by just sticking to the status quo. It's incredibly difficult to reinvent the wheel, but yet somehow, some way, against all odds, the meathead here to bite off kneecaps. Dan Gamble going for it on 4th down. Oh, my God! He won 15 games last year with 172 players on IR. He has turned the Lions franchise around. He has changed the way that the NFL teams are conducting themselves, so much so that you could say Dan Campbell might be a revolutionary style head coach, as now, as I continue to say, everybody is just a poor knockoff of what the Detroit Lions are trying to do. If you guys haven't already, would you mind taking a look up at the poll in the chat? 19 votes. Look at you guys go. 1 like equals Lions are contenders. So far, 100% of you say Super Bowl bound, baby. Let's go. That's what we like to see. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. If you're new here, ring that notification bell so you can be notified every time we go live. Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. here at youtube.com/Hat and Beard Show, broadcasting to you live from Grandma's Studio One. We are the largest, fastest-growing Detroit Lions NFL content creation station. When you meet every single metric that I just laid out before you, it's incredibly niche. But hey, what do they say? Niche down, 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 down. So here we are. Now we're going to talk a little hometown cooking. We are running super-duper late today, guys. But you know what? One of us in this podcast studio, this is day 5 of 5 in a row off. So we're going to go ahead and bask in the glory of my final day off. And here in mid-Michigan, it's a little too wet. So all my outdoor plans got the old kibosh or rooski-dooski. So let's go ahead and check it out. Coming to us from Detroit Sports, prideofdetroits.com. 5 winners and 2 losers from the big win over the Ravens. Big winner. Based on his name, he's probably only going to want a chicken dinner. Doesn't seem like the type of guy, at least based on the name, that probably wants any type of pork. Number 1, Al-Quadin Muhammad. The loss of Marcus Davenport loomed large for the depleted Lions defensive line, but it appears as though they have one in-house solution. In a pivotal primetime game against an elusive Jackson, Muhammad showed up. The journeyman edge racked up 2.5 sacks on the night, mixing an elusiveness with strength and a motor to wrap up the scrambling quarterback. He also tallied a 3rd down stop late in the 4th quarter that was effectively a drive killer. Muhammad has played a fraction of defensive snaps, but has already amassed 3.5 sacks this year. Detroit is limiting him to almost exclusively pass rushing snaps, so the question is not whether he should get an expanded pass rushing role, but whether he can stand out enough as a run defender. The Lions needed a partner in crime for Aidan Hutchinson, and Muhammad has staked his claim to that title. Big winner number 2, Kelvin Shepherd, our guy. So happy he got the defensive coordinator job, was really hoping he was going to be the dude. Dan Campbell, Brad Holmes making all the right decision, elevating Kelvin Shepherd. And Kelvin Shepherd is proving to be, in my opinion, through 3 games and 1 very crucial sample game, one program that Aaron Glenn could not coordinate his way out of was beating the Baltimore Ravens. And in his first crack at it, not only did Kelvin Shepherd emerge victorious as the Lions defensive coordinator, but somehow, some way, figured out a way to contain Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry to less than 100 yards combined rushing between the 2 future Hall of Famers, and sack Lamar Jackson not once, not twice, but 7 times. That's as many rings as Tom Brady has. Holy shit. John Morton got his flowers this week. It is only fair that Shepherd gets them this week. Against arguably the toughest opponent the Lions could face this season, the defense was humming. The Lions sacked Jackson a whopping 7 times, a staggering number given how elusive the former MVP can be. It is rare to make Jackson look rattled, but Shepherd's front 7 did the trick. The pocket was collapsing on nearly every down, forcing Jackson to scramble. Sometimes that resulted in a large run. Yet, more often than not, it resulted in a negative play. Now, I will point out that what else have we seen historically the Lions do? The Lions were the team to show you how to beat the Chefs. Since the Lions came out in their banner night 2 years ago, opening day, the Lions showed you how to beat the Chefs, and now other teams follow suit with what the Detroit Lions and Philadelphia Eagles have been able to do to success in beating the Kansas City Chiefs. The Detroit Lions just showed you the roadmap. They showed 30 other teams in the NFL, this is how you stop Lamar. Give us our flowers, please. Start to put some respect on what the Detroit Lions are doing, continuously revolutioning and changing the way they play the game. Big winner, David Montgomery. It's about time Monty had his time in the spotlight. Montgomery has a solid outing against the Bears with 11 carries, 54 yards, and a touchdown, but he truly made his mark on Monday night. Thanks to a massive 72-yard rumble, Montgomery paced the Lions running backs with 151 yards and 2 tuggaroos, whereas Jahmyr Gibbs dominated the carries, 22 carries in total to Montgomery's 12. It was Montgomery leading in efficiency with almost 13 yards per carry. Gibbs had some negative plays in which he was struggling to run vertically, so the Lions pivoted to their other weapon out of the backfield. Montgomery slotted in, and the tide began to change for the Lions. The power running game suited the offense as Montgomery started punching his way through the Ravens' front seven. That opened up for the passing attack as well as Gibbs. Big winner number 4, JG16. Look, I finally acknowledged Jared Goff. Ha ha! Ha ha! All right, a little self-awareness. After failing to list him as a, quote, winner last week, I had to correct that mistake in week 3. Goff did not reach his totals from the previous beatdown of the Chicago Bears, but Goff was just as clutch. He went 20 of 28 on the night for 202 yards and a touchdown, but the numbers do not tell the whole story. Against an aggressive Ravens defense, Goff was making decisive and crisp throws. There were little to no turnover-worthy plays from him. Of his incompletion, perhaps 1 or 2 of them were considered errant. There were multiple third downs in which Goff delivered on a targeted ball beyond the sticks or with enough open field for his man to saunter for the first. See Sam Laporta. Oh, well, would you look at that? Sam Laporta, tight end. Laporta, his game isn't sexy. He won't blow the top off the defense. He won't make the most acrobatic catches on the planet. What he brings is the consistency the Lions offense. With an offense full of stars, it's an asset in and of itself. Week in, week out, Laporta is a safety valve for the offense. He is phenomenal at finding space downfield and giving Jared Goff an open target to push the ball downfield. Laporta converted 3 first-down attempts, 2 of which came on a 3rd and long. When the Lions needed surefire yardage, Laporta is the guy for the job. Equally impressive was Laporta's blocking. He had 2 pivotal blocks on carries by Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, among others. The Ravens' linebackers and safeties were committed to stopping the run, but Laporta held his own when called upon to block. 4 players known more for his receiving game, he is quietly one of the most well-rounded tight ends in the league. Oh, and he recovered the crucial onside kick. Brownie points to you, Sam. On to the losers. We got 2 losers. Big loser number 1, Terrion Arnold. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it. But at a certain point, the conversation, and it is a little early, but Terrion Arnold has been on the field a lot already. At a certain point, there will be a tag that will start to creep its way into the conversation about Terrion Arnold, and I don't want it to happen. I need him to do whatever it was last year that he did where he turned it around and was able to shuck the PIs. I need him to pull his head out of his lower orifice and figure it out, because I don't want to start hearing the term and I don't want to start having the conversation of Terrion Arnold being a bust. That being said, he is a big loser yesterday. It is too early to hit the panic button on Arnold. After making great strides down the stretch in his rookie season, Arnold has reverted to his early rookie self. Inadequate coverage and a handful of penalties. Arnold was victimized on many of Baltimore's biggest plays. He lost Devontae Walker on a 34-yard deep shot. He drew poor pass interference penalties against DeAndre Hopkins to set up a goal line opportunity. He was beat by Rashad Bateman on the Ravens' first touchdown pass, the very next play after the penalty. Through 2 games, Arnold's PFF grade was 52.4, a number that will likely drop following this poor outing. He is in contention for the worst starting corner in the league. Simply unacceptable for a player with his talent. With DJ Reed not emerging as a lockdown cornerback either, the Lions are suddenly facing a glaring weakness in the secondary. Do the Lions turn to Amik Robertson to move outside and shift Arnold inside, or to the reserves? There is a clear problem with his game. The question is whether the problem is caused by scheme or execution. I think that he is poorly executing our scheme. Detroit needs Arnold to take a step forward in 2025. So far, the only steps have been backwards. And the other big loser would be Khalif Raymond. Raymond has a bigger impact on special teams than on offense. Unfortunately, that impact was largely negative. The former All-Pro had a rough night as a punt returner against the Ravens. On his first return of the game, he fielded a deep punt that would have likely bounced into the end zone. Instead, he danced around and wound up gaining 0 yards to pin Detroit deep. Special teams penalty pinned them even deeper to the 2-yard line. The Lions turned that into a massive 18-play touchdown drive, but the point stands. Raymond put them in a tough spot. I completely agree with that. Through 3 games, Raymond has been largely invisible as a returner. He has mustered just 38 return yards on 6 attempts, well below his career standard. I would not proclaim Raymond as washed, nor has he lost his elite speed, but there needs to be some kind of shakeup to get the return game back to where it should be. Whether that means shaking up the blocking or perhaps even the returner himself. Dominic Lovett profiles as Raymond's heir apparent, but I am not ready to bench him, to bench a former All-Pro quite yet. I will defer to Dave Phipp on how to best fix the return game. And it seems that Khalif Raymond isn't even on the kick return team right now. As you guys have seen, Jacob Saylors has been handling a majority of the kick returns, and Khalif Raymond has been very underwhelming, shall we say, in his punt return games. My mom has a good point. Terry Arnold kind of reminds her of J-Mo. Needs someone to mentor him. I agree. At least we don't see Terry Arnold making off-the-field situations, not getting any, even though it was minor brushes with the law. And I think the personality profile is different, but I do agree with you. I think that somebody needs to come in and take Terry Arnold under his wing. Somebody's got to figure him out. He's too talented of a player to not unlock his potential here in Detroit. We need him to figure it out. All right, finally, we are going to be running probably till 11:30 today. Finally, let's go ahead and bask in our victory yesterday. And boy, does it feel good. From USA Today. That is a national news media outlet. Don't focus on what the 2025 Detroit Lions lost. Remember what they've recovered. For roughly the first 2 hours of Detroit's 38-30 victory over Baltimore on Monday night, it was easy to forget Aidan Hutchinson was on the field. Aside from a neutral zone infraction, he literally didn't show up in the game's box score through 3 quarters. While wondering in the fourth quarter if I'd somehow missed an injury or benching, I purposely scanned the field to confirm Hutchinson was present and accounted for, and there he was, lined up wide on the right side of the defensive line, the outside shoulder of Baltimore's tight end, Charlie Kohler. No sooner had I located Hutch than he flashed off the line at the snap, but appeared to overrun a rush by Ravens steamroller Derrick Henry. Except Hutchinson never gave up on the play, changing direction on his surgically repaired leg before throwing a haymaker at the ball. Henry couldn't withstand the Falcon punch and gave up the rock. A turnover the Lions turned into a field goal with 1:51 to go and ultimately provide the decisive cushion. I saw the ball cradling a little bit, Hutchinson said, who revealed the play was actually designed to create a takeaway. And I put my head down and just threw the biggest hook I could. And then I got up and everybody started running at the end zone. At that moment, I knew the ball came out, so that was a fun moment. I never actually done that before, where I got a clean punch out on a ball carrier. So that was a lot of fun, actually. That was really, really cool. Hutchinson, 25, wasn't done being Motown cool. Known for his typically redline motor since before he was the number 2 overall draft pick out of the University of Michigan 3 years ago, he sacked Baltimore superstar Lamar Jackson for a 6-yard loss on Detroit's very next defensive snap. One of the 7 times Jackson went down on Monday night, tied for the most the 2-time league MVP has been suffered in a game during his 8-year NFL career. Boy, I'm struggling to win. I wasn't getting a lot of action, Hutchinson replied when USA Today Sports asked him blah, blah, blah. But I think at the end of the day, we made the plays that we had to win the game. It might have been a little quiet at first, but we surged onto the scene with a couple of big plays to finish them off on the road. Is that what it said? Oh, at the end. It was a sequence the 2025 Lions can only hope typifies their season. From the ability to throw timely haymakers to the relentless approach this organization will need to break the league's strongest Super Sunday hex, Detroit, the only NFL franchise that's been in operation for the entirety of the Super Bowl era, which began in 1966, yet never appeared in the game. Boy, it's getting dark out. It's going to straight up start raining again here, guys. Damn, it is dark out there. Maybe there was also a timely reminder here at the light of the dominant offseason narrative that followed the Lions, who lost coordinators Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn to head coaching opportunities at the time when 6 other assistants also departed. Yet don't forget that Detroit, which went one and done in the 2024 postseason despite its number 1 seeding largely undone by a rash of injuries, has also made significant gains that are easy to gloss over. Start with the return of Hutchinson, who broke his leg last October. He was going to win Defensive Player of the Year honors. Also restored to full strength is running back David Montgomery, who suffered an MCL injury last December. Young guards Tate Ratledge, a rookie, and Christian Mahogany, a second-year player, have supplied a needed boost to the offensive line following the offseason retirement of Pro Bowl Frank Ragnow. Running behind the reconfigured blocking, Montgomery racked up a career-high 151 yards. That's right. Detroit manhandled Baltimore squad, which with a deserved reputation as one of the league's bullies. Quote, "We know what we've got here," Dane Campbell said. "We don't need anybody telling us what we do or don't have." But it's apparent. After coming out flat in the season opening loss to the Green Bay Packers, the Lions sent an early message to Johnson, his new team, and everyone else with a 52-21 demolition of the Chicago Bears in Week 2. Now, with replacement coordinators John Morton calling the offensive shots, Detroit has scored 90 points over its past 2 games. Quarterback Jared Goff even indicated the regime attack's new wrinkles create even more opportunities for this group. It's not like most of the ingredients that helped this team to consecutive NFC North crowns disappeared. An explosive group of pass catchers led by Amon-Ra remains. An opportunistic defense with ball-hawking safeties Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph remains. Campbell's 4th down, 4th and fuck it bravado, 3 for 3 Monday night, remains. Factor in a healthy Hutchinson, their defensive closer, and what's basically the full complement of weapons that's underpinned on offense that's been a top 5 unit, both in yards and points in every season since 2022. There's certainly a sense that this could finally be the pride of the Lions that leaves no unfinished business at the end of the season. Ooh, we've got kind of like that. I like that last end right there. There's certainly a sense that this could finally be the pride of the Lions that leaves no unfinished business at season's end. That is a national news media outlet. That is USA Today quietly tipping their hat at the Lions being an actual Super Bowl contender now. And I honestly think that the way we handled our business last night leaves no question. We are a Super Bowl contender. The only questions that I really have now going into the NFL at this point, at the 6th way mark through the NFL season, and go ahead and let me know down in the chat, is the NFC far superior to the AFC? I think that the NFC is head and shoulders better than the AFC is, at least at the 6th way point through the season. Now, we haven't seen many injuries really pop up yet. Some have. Nick Bosa, CD Lamb. But on the whole, most teams are staying relatively healthy. Before we get into the Tom Grossi videos, we're going to go ahead and take a last little look down at the chat here. Hiking the Island. How you doing, Hiking the Island says, Raymond is more of a receiver this time around and is doing some awesome blocking. Yes, Hiking the Island, I think you are starting to see Khalif Raymond. I do think he's hit that wall. I do think his speed is not what it once was. He does have dynamic ability in the punt return game, and he is more of an effective offensive downfield blocker, gadget player for our offensive scheme than he is an overall return man. That being said, Jacob Sailors has been doing a sensational job as the kick returner. I think he's got a little bit more explosiveness as well as being a little bit more physical. You will find that I have been a Jacob Sailors stan ever since we signed him from the UFL. Brandy Coffee says, Scary Sparkle. That's Jackson's name, Scary Sparkle. Sparkle Spice. He's Sparkle Spice. Is this what pops into my head when I see him? It's fair. It's fair. Just Woke says, Go Lions. Hope that means you just woke up, brother, and you're not just letting you know we're not very big on lefties over here, my guy. We're kind of can't tell by my shirt. We're kind of a little bit more on the less than woke. In fact, the older I get, guys, the more I'm like, reject modernity, embrace tradition. You guys, some of you might know that for the past 2 weeks, because of certain situations that have unfolded in this world, I think that it is not only my duty to do it as a Christian, but it's a privilege that I get to here in the United States. And I say this about a lot of things now. I do a lot of things now simply because of the impact that Charlie Kirk had on me and my life. So I try to go to church now on Sundays. It's 2 in a row. It'll be 3 in a row this week, simply because Charlie Kirk can't go anymore. But I now find that I enjoy it, and I am such a embrace tradition, reject modernity that I've been going to Catholic Mass with hat and boobs, and I now find that I very much enjoy the Catholic way of conducting themselves around the faith. Not so wild about the Protestant stuff. Feels kind of weird to me. Very much enjoy the smells and bells and the outright tradition of it all. Just my own personal statement on that. So reject modernity, embrace tradition. You did think of the Spice Girls when he typed it. Yeah, I'm going to start calling Lamar Jackson Sparkle Spice. Thank you, Brandy. I appreciate it. I think you're pretty cool, too. I think you're pretty awesome, Brandy. You've tuned in and just keep showing out, dude. Praise God. Peace be with you and with your spirit. Peace be with all of you. The NFC is better than the AFC. We are tougher and have better talent, except for the Bears. Ha! Nice, Mom. Nice. Yeah, everybody, F the Bears. Let's go. F the Bears. All right, guys. We got a few minutes left here. We're just going to round it out with our guy. Haven't watched him yet, Tom Grossi. I was very much looking forward to these. I was very much looking forward to probably one of the hardest working guys in YouTube. I don't know how Tom Grossi is able to grind these out so fast, but my dude. So this first video we're going to watch is a Lions and Ravens fan reaction to NFL Week 3, and then we're going to follow suit with If the NFL is Scripted Week 3. That is my favorite series that he does. But first, let's go ahead and rock and roll. Tom Grossi, a Lions fan reaction to NFL Week 3. Let's go.
I'm a little nervous about this game, but hopefully it's competitive, because I have no idea if we're good or not. So,
Accurate.
Please be good. All right. We destroyed Joe Flacco, sorry about that, and the Browns last week. And now, time to show them who the real team is in the North. AFC version. Touchdown, Jahmyr Gibbs! Okay, the offense looked pretty good. That's a good sign. Okay, after this drive, we're gonna show them who the real kings of the North are gonna be. And there's our defense. A Derrick Henry touchdown. Great, it's gonna be a long night. Derrick Henry touchdown! Like I said, king. David Montgomery, you beautiful man! We basically had it for the entire quarter! Yes! Okay, turns out they can...
I swear that is exactly what we said. Me and Hat and Boob said that exact same thing after that fucking 18-play drive.
Run the ball, too. Just thought we would game plan a little better for that. That's a turnover on downs!
I knew you'd seen these. Brandy,
I never doubted
when I was
you
planning
for a
on watching these, I was like, I almost guarantee Brandy's already seen these. I was like, I can guarantee Brandy's already watched these.
Second. What is this play calling? It's terrible. It's a turnover on downs. What are we doing? Okay, never mind. There's a little doubt. Touchdown, Rashad Bateman. Thank you. A 67-yard attempt. I'm just happy they let Jake Bates try. Touchdown!
Me too, dude. I was like, fuck it. Let him swing at it. You got nothing to lose. Let him go chop the wood, dude. If he hits it, awesome. We get to stick it in their ass, right in their own house, right after Justin Tucker flamed out for being a pervert. You know what I'm saying? Oh, it would have been poetic justice. I'm just glad they let him fucking swing at it.
Mark Andrews, who apparently is really good again. The sun god shines down upon us. Touchdown. I am so glad that our offense can do this against a real team and not just the Bears. Do we even have a pass rush? Does it even exist? It doesn't look like it. Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah, it didn't look like Goff had any pressure really in his face. I mean, he had to move around a little bit late in the game, but, dude, Goff looked like he had just damn near all fucking day, especially on play action. They were biting on the play action so hard. And, guys, can we just go ahead and give some more flowers to Jared Goff? Do you remember the first year and a half that Goff was here where he was constantly under fire? And for whatever reason, Jared Goff could not throw a tight spiral. It was this weird wonking duck the whole time. Jared Goff has just been flinging dimes. He can sling the rock. The ball, like Jared Goff throws the ball so well now that the ball looks confident in itself getting to the wide receiver. You know what I'm saying? Like the ball's like, hell yeah, I got that JG16 swag, baby. Let's go. Gonna riz him with the tism.
With a touchdown. Seriously, we have the best running back tandem in the league. Why do I even stay up for these primetime games?
Crazy.
Aidan Hutchinson punched it out. It's a fumble. That's a fumble. Okay, we forced a 3 and out. This is great. We're getting the ball back. We're only down 4. We've got to get a touchdown, and then Derrick Henry fumbled again. Derrick Henry fumbled again. Look at what they've done to my boy, Derrick Henry. All these fumbles. Also, you see Cam Ward? Our offensive line could be worse. Stop fumbling the ball, Derrick Henry. I will happily take a field goal. Do we even have an offensive line?
What's up, Chase? How you doing, brother? Good to see you. Hey, Attila the Hun. Good morning, guys. Good to see you in here, guys. I appreciate you.
Just stop him on 4th down. I beg of you, just one time. Dan Gamble pays off again. We went for it on 4th down and it worked. Good God, this is stressful. Apparently he doesn't exist or God is not a Ravens fan. David Montgomery sealing it with a dagger. Yes, yes. We're good again. Oh, look, we got a garbage time TD. It's great. It's great. Oh, thank God we recovered the onside kick. I was a little nervous.
A little nervous, yeah.
Just a little.
I think we all were.
Fire Zach or now. I don't care if there's still time left on the clock. Just do it now. 7 sacks. We got 7 sacks and didn't allow a single one. Who needs Ben Johnson or Aaron Glenn? Oh, but the Ravens couldn't let us sack them 7 times? Okay, I see how it is. This is the Super Bowl caliber team, huh? How's our pass rush doing? And just like that, the Steelers are on top of the AFC North. Steelers got a Super Bowl. I am so tired of the same thing every single season. Imagine panicking about this team in week 1. Totally wasn't me. It was. Yeah, so if we could play the Bengals every week, that would be great. I think I'm just gonna start getting into other sports. The King of the North has returned. Everybody laugh at the Packers for being the only team in the NFC North to not win this week. This week may legitimately be my Super Bowl. Worst week ever. But we still beat the Lions week 1. So, that's something. Jason Kelsey was playing in the band earlier. Don't let him leave. We'll sign him to our offensive line. Well. The Ravens are going to be playing us next week in a race to the bottom. No, seriously, this season sucks.
Damn. Shout out. Hey, Brandy, sorry you're not feeling well, dude. Get some rest. Drink some water. If you got any zinc, take some zinc. That's good for you. Make sure you take it regularly because the zinc kind of pops into the receptors so the virus doesn't necessarily spread. I don't know how much of a fan of garlic you are, but tell you, if you want to clean your system out, go ahead and give yourself a good garlic surge. Go ahead and pound down some raw garlic with some water. That's a good way to clean you out. Take it from me. I smell like garlic all the time. Real quick, Attila, you made my gray matter start running. You'd like to know the type of money the guy makes off of his views. Off his views alone, that would be dependent on what he's getting as far as like an ad rate ratio from YouTube. And I'm not monetized, so I don't know what it's like here for this type of content. But you love garlic. Hell yeah, Brandy. That's what's up. Garlic's it's a superfood, dude. Check out Dr. Rhonda Patrick and her studies on garlic. She's got some videos on YouTube. And also check out Dr. Rhonda Patrick's work on creatine if you want a nice little hack system on how you can... magnesium as well. Yes, Attila. Magnesium will also help. It's also great for limiting if you have cramping problems in your sleep. It'll help with that. I think split 70-30 or 80-20. I agree. Yeah, mineral you up. Exactly. Attila, you know what's up, brother. You know what's up, dude. Yeah, Chase, you're probably 70-30, 80-20, but I can give you just a rule of thumb. an easy kind of rule of thumb for channels that are like fully monetized. If you're talking just views alone, I have heard that the number is about $2 per every 1,000 views, which is not very much. Now, Tom Grossi is one of the people who are partnered with YouTube that gets to call the games when YouTube is streaming games, and he makes a boatload of money off of Super Chats. I also know that Tom Grossi donates a tremendous amount of his earnings off of YouTube. He's one of the most like charitable dudes, not just in the sports commentary sphere, but like all of YouTube. He's a good dude. He's a good dude, man. That's why we support him. Chase, real quick, dude. We were talking about monetization, brother. I don't want to do Twitch because I don't think I'm a Twitch guy. Is it weird? Am I weird? Am I gross for wanting to also dual stream to Kick? All right, Philion does it, and Kick's got a hell of a it's like a 90-10 revenue split. Am I nuts for wanting to dual stream to Kick just to see what we can do over there? You donate or anything over? Oh, hell yeah. Dude, Attila, brother, legit. So for real. Dude, yeah, if I was making over $100K a month, obviously set aside what you need for life expenses, taxes. But, dude, yeah, if I was making over $100K a month, you have so much money to donate. Like if you're making $100K a month, you want for nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like you're not going to have a PJ. You're not going to have 16 houses along the West Coast, stretching the whole PWC or PNW. You know what I'm saying? But you're going to live more than comfortably. You will want for nothing. If you're making $100K a month, no financial hiccup is going to impact you. You will never be stressed dollars-wise. You will be able to live more than comfortably. So anything over $100K a month, yeah, do the charitable thing. Donate it. Find a way to help give back. Live your life by the, if I'm eating, we're all fucking eating. A rising tide raises all ships. You know what I'm saying, brother? You know what I'm saying? Kick is a little slimy because of all their ads and streams that get pushed are the most are gambling streams and gambling games they have stake in. But aside from that, I don't see a problem with it. And so the gambling thing is something that you brought up, dude. It's kind of what I was thinking is it would help kind of push my content when I do my pregame bets and stuff because I know YouTube isn't so wild about gambling on their platform. Most people will pay to see my feet like they do Tom's. Brandy, I'm going to be honest, probably not. I got some busted-ass feet, dude. For so long, I wore ill-fitting shoes. I cannot express to you guys the importance of making sure that your fucking shoes fit. Just a shout-out. This is not a sponsored read or nothing like that. So I wear a size 13 and a wide, okay? But I don't have the world's widest foot. I have a slightly wider than average foot. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes a wide boot isn't really wide enough. Now, I know they're not the most expensive boot, but when you throw the number out there and anything over $100, some people kind of reel at. You know what I'm saying? Now, those of us in the boot world know that if you want to get a real nice pair of boots, you got to pay $200, $300, upwards of $400 for a nice pair of boots. You know what I'm saying? But it's an investment. You know what I'm saying? It's something that you take care of a long time. If you're looking for a nice, what I would call midline work boot, I'm on concrete all day long. I'm in trades work, so I need shock, or I need grounding, I need shock absorbing, I need flame retardant, and I need a safety toe, be it steel or composite. Guys, I have found this is the brand is gonna shock you at first because you're gonna hear the brand and you're gonna go, they make boots, and then use your gray matter and realize that if they make a shoe and they've been this successful at it, then well, of course they can make a successful boot. Yo, the Reebok Rapid Response. It's like walking on a fucking cloud, and they are the lightest boots I have ever owned. I got the 6-inch, not the 8-inch, but they are awesome. So the Reebok Rapid Response. Check those out. You can get them on Amazon. The tan ones are a lot cheaper than the black or the Coyote. I got a pair of tan ones, and you know what? They look fine. They look totally fine. I've never worn tan boots before in my life. They look fine. They're a work boot. They're meant to get dirty and fucked up. Check out the Reebok Rapid Response, yo. It is some nice footwear. Helped a lot with my back pains and stuff. It's very light, too. Very nice boot. Very recommend it. I always wear. You're always barefoot at home. Chase is always asking me to where your shoes are. You know, Clarice, I am a big barefoot at home guy too. I actually have toe spacers that I wear for about an hour every day. One of my favorite things is, so I got a home gym, like I work out at home, right? I love it when it's warm out because I can work out barefoot. There is nothing better than working out barefoot. If you have to wear a shoe, get a real flat shoe. You know what I'm saying? She's always barefoot, can't confirm. Did you say trains? That's funny. You guys are funny. Damn, you still get a $50 check from Twitch every 10 months or so. That's what's up, Chase. That's what's up. Yeah, I was thinking about taking it to Kick, maybe seeing, just kind of dabbling. Well, let's finish off today with an NFL Week 3 scripted video from Tom Grossi, guys.
Where is he? Flag? I guess you could call a delay of game, am I right?
Oh. Oh, Brandy, so are you asking about the boot? No, not trains. So they would be Reebok Rapid Response. Was that what you were asking? Or was you asking about the boot?
Flag. Is that it? Me? Flag.
Oh, and I was saying they're in I got them in tan, not trains. I might have been saying I got them in tan. Sorry.
Don't know what you're saying. Flag. What is happening? Flag. I can't understand you. He said flag. He said flag over and over and over again. You don't understand that? Is that my robe? Is it? It's so soft. Almost as soft as your O-line. Also, Stroud, side note, you're out of alcohol. Oh, there's some. Take off the robe. No can do, partner. Don't want a Vashante Shango situation. This guy knows what I mean. What? You win. Wieners. I'm burning the house down for insurance money. Okay, let's get serious, everyone. It's time for this week's script. You all ready? Yes, we've been waiting this entire time. That's what you do this week. I don't know what that. What? Is a family reunion? What? Cousins. No, but seriously, you don't score any points and the Panthers scored 30. Okay, obviously he's drunk and nobody should listen. This man is a genius. Somebody get him a drink. Thank you, kitty cat. Love you. Do you though? Because lately it feels like next game. I can't believe this. Fear not, Falcons, for at least you beat the Vikings. Yeah, and who beat you? We're not talking about that. Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, and it is in our losses that we find our greatest triumphs, where we... I like your hat. Bears win. Never mind, winning is so much better. Thank you. Thank Matt Eberflus. Never. Okay, now for some bad news.
Thanks, Matt
Colts,
Eberflus.
I'm sorry, but your streak ends this week. Oh, look. You finally had a good idea. You punt for the first time this season and you win 41-20. Okay, we turn it over now to the 49ers with our AccuWeather forecast. 49ers? I'm sorry, what do you want me to do? Sports or weather, whatever I said. Okay. 49ers win with a game-winning field goal. I like it. Oh, okay. I guess we have a kicker now. That's great. I thought we had one too, but apparently not. So just to be clear, you want me to just make up the script for each game? I don't know, that's what I do. Wait, what? I thought this was all predetermined. No, you're thinking about predestination. What? Calvinism? Okay, Packers lose. What?
Calvinism?
I like this guy. Let's see. Jordan Love threw an interception against
That's
us
nice.
the last
That's
time we
funny.
played, so he'll just throw another one of those. Then blocked field goal. So many blessings. And the Browns get a game winner. Why? Just getting you ready for the playoffs. Burn. Yeah. Okay. Burn. Patriots, you lose 2. You fumble 4 times.
Oh, yeah? Give me one good reason.
You were mean to Mac Jones.
He deserved it.
And Rams, they're winning the majority of the game. They set up for the game winner and blocked. Okay, I thought we already did the whole blocking field goal thing, but yeah, another block. Hey, scriptwriter, I baked you some cookies. It should help. Aw, thank you. That's so nice. Why are you never nice to me? I'm letting you live. It's just I don't. This is very good. The Buccaneers win. Aw, thank you. You heard that, right? You know what? I'm just going to throw this out there. What if the Jets also block a field goal because they gave us Robert Saleh back? What? But they still lose the game because they were mean to Robert Saleh. Never mind. Flag? Oh, yeah, all of them. It's just that I've been against your house for 3 weeks now, and not one time you asked me how I'm doing. Okay. How are you Oh, and Strouds? You lose 2. You took D'Amico Ryans. I'm getting the gasoline. Okay, Broncos lose to the Chargers on a game-winning field goal because they gave draft picks to the Seahawks for Russell Wilson. The Giants lose because they have Russell Wilson. And for the Seahawks, I just want someone to be my friend. You know what? The Seahawks can just win.
Remember when the scriptwriters were locked in the closet last season? Yeah.
This isn't my robe. Oh, also Nick Bosa tears his ACL.
Jesus.
What? That's what you get when you try to take my job. But you literally asked me. And let that be a lesson to all of you. There's only one scriptwriter. Have a good week, everyone. Listen, I know that we have not been on the best of terms lately, but I wanted to get you these.
Flag.
They're the same color as flags, so figured you'd like them.
Flag.
So that's it. Just wanted to stop by and say flag.
Flag. Flag.
The music. Flag. Yeah, you called it, Brandy.
Okay.
Flag.
Okay.
Flag.
Flag. Oh. Woo! All right, guys. It was a hell of a show today. We ran extra heavy, damn near to 2 hours today. We covered everything from the Monday Night Football game and the Lions beatdown of the Baltimore Ravens, and we can bask in the glory. It's about to be lunchtime. Go ahead and rub it in all your Baltimore Ravens, Chicago Bears fans, Packers fans, and Viking fans' faces that we ended up beating the crap out of the team that we were all supposed to lose to. Everybody said there's no way the Lions are going to win with this. Everybody put all their money on the Baltimore Ravens, and a bunch of us made money because we knew the reality of the situation is we are the team of destiny. Let us go. Let us go forth and enjoy our victory tomorrow. We will be looking ahead. Maybe a couple more pats on the back, see how we shook out PFF-wise. But we got to start focusing. Guys, we've got a couple of big games coming up that could be sneaky trap games. I know the Browns are an easy team to overlook, and the Cincinnati Bengals are also a team to overlook. But those are 2 games that we need to get big W's for to continue to claim our crown of 3-time NFC North Division champs. We'll be back at it tomorrow, guys. Appreciate each and every one of you hanging out. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. That's what we love about you. Until next time, Monday tomorrow or Wednesday morning, 10 a.m. Sorry, guys, brain's a little fried. We'll see you then. Stay out of trouble. Don't do anything I would do. You've been an attentive audience. I've been Hat and Beard. We'll see you then. Bonga bonga. Frig off.